funny, dude.
No more pictures?
Pardon?
No more pictures?
Oh, I'm going to take other pictures. Are you kidding? I'm going to walk out onto the stage and snap one of the... I asked. They were like, sure you can. I was like, okay.
So are you excited? This is the beginning of a whole new adventure for you, I suppose, as an actor.
Potentially.
Yeah. No, it's really strange. I mean, I was just sort of saying to the people over there, it kind of came out of nowhere as well. I mean, it's just suddenly exploded at exactly the same time as the movie was being made. Just, I guess it's lucky for everyone. But it's really strange because, I mean, I went into it having not heard of the book and not even thinking it was like that huge a movie at all, and kind of, you know, it's ended up being this big cultural phenomenon. I guess it's kind of, I don't know, it's bizarre.
But in each Barnes and Nobles and Borders, you can find out the book just in the front of the door. And
every single bookshop, like, it's bizarre. Like, it's so bizarre. They're having all the midnight shop openings for the new book and stuff. It's like, oh, so that's what this is.
So that's kind of a weird shift, because you didn't really sign on to do kind of something on the level of Harry Potter, but then suddenly you find yourself in the middle of that. Is that disconcerting? Is it?
I think it's exciting. I mean, it's bizarre because you don't expect it, so it kind of catches you off guard. Like, it's one thing in your imagination to go, oh, a lot of people read these books. You know, you can sort of imagine millions of people read the books, and in your head it's like, okay. And then, you know, I mean, it's just a supporting role, and I had just finished filming, and there were no pictures of us in costume or anything released, and I literally had my hair in a ponytail, and I walked into a coffee shop, and I ordered my coffee, and the girl was like, you play Victoria in Twilight? And I literally was like, oh my god. You know, and it was so bizarre. But then you suddenly go, oh my god, this could be really cool. This could be great. People might actually, I might actually do something people are going to see. That's awesome. You know?
Sequels for your character.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, we really hope we get to do all three. That would be awesome.
So Robert, how different was it in terms of scale? Because Harry Potter was already a big thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was it was different going into Harry Potter because it's kind of,
it's big already.
Yeah, and you go into it and you can kind of, and also had a smaller role in that as well. I mean, actually, I didn't really come to terms with it then either. I just like, yeah, whatever. And the thing, it was different. I mean, that kind of, they had all the set. I mean, I guess it was kind of a sort of well-oiled machine, the Harry Potter series. When they were on 3 movies all in the same place and stuff. Whereas this is a whole different thing, and also the weather conditions and stuff were so difficult to work with in those videos because it needs such specific weather, and everything's outside as well. And if it rains or if it's sunny or if it even deviates from being cloudy ever, then you have to like go to a cover set. I mean, it was pretty intense.
We get shoved into a tent.
Yeah, there's a little way around.
Get the vampires out of the sun. Get the vampires out of the hail. Get the vampires out of the rain. It was nuts.
How do you approach your character, each of you?
For me, I just the description in the books, I just took that and then basically worked it down and was like, all right, pure evil, pure instinct, pure malice, and very feline. So I watched a lot of lion attacks on YouTube, believe it or not. And then it's really embarrassing, but a friend of mine went to drama school and suggested it, and I did it, and it was great. And I was for an hour a day, get us closer to filming. I was a cat in my apartment for an hour a day.
Really?
Yeah, I was very like feline because I'm sort of klutzy, and I was like, if I don't put that in my body, it will just read false. So I have to show up and just be sort of ready to do that. So that for me, the physical part was really big, and then I just gave myself permission to follow every nasty impulse I could possibly have, because we all have that inside us. We just don't like to talk about it. But the truth is, if you give yourself permission
to just rip people apart and drink their blood, like
come on, you ever had an argument with somebody where you could have just gone up and rip your head off? Like, we all have something to draw on, you know. And I feel like if you just give yourself permission.
Okay, we're scared.
Okay, you go.
I thought you were saying sea lion.
Sea lion? Yeah, what's sea lion?
You're on my sea lion. It's like, wow, I really didn't see that. That's really subtle. The thing, the whole book is written from Bella's perspective. So it's kind of, Edward is like an enigma because she doesn't really know who he is or what he is the entire time, and so neither does the audience. But it's kind of, it's kind of difficult to sort of think of your own, to actually play something which doesn't really, it's never really there, you know, it's like a kind of phantom. So I was just pretty much inventing it at the beginning, which was really nice. I mean, you have pretty much free reign. I mean, you can be whatever you want. So I thought about that a lot, and then halfway through, Stephanie gave me this unfinished manuscript. She was writing a version of Twilight, which is all from Edward's perspective, called Midnight Sun. I think I'm one of like the 3 people in the world who's read it or something.
I'm so jealous.
Don't say it downstairs.
But but I read that kind of 2/3 of the way into doing it. So it added, but funnily enough, it was like kind of a lot of it was how I was doing it anyway. There were some other things, but I mean, things like his anger. I mean, he seems like a really nice guy in Twilight, and like just kind of in his world, in his head, so much resentfulness and anger, which is really interesting when someone is literally looking at the entire book of Twilight, looks at him saying he's the perfect creature, perfect, never does anything wrong ever, and he just thinks he's constantly doing everything wrong, and like even being with this girl, he's like, I'm being a selfish bastard, like I'm just putting her life in danger the whole time, like every single second, and I'm being like pathetic because I can't stop being around her or whatever. I really like that kind of relationship.
We pretty much saw every vampire in the world, in movies and in books and everything. And the ones in Twilight are pretty different. You had to unlearn everything you knew about the rules and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of want to do all this stuff, like
and the fangs and all.
Yeah.
What are the fangs?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a lot more like. There's a lot more pain, especially in the Cullens, because I mean they're literally just denying the fact that they're vampires, and they are vampires, but they just pretend they're not, because I guess because Carlisle, my surrogate father, thinks that even though you are immortal and stuff, you still retain your soul, which is like the kind of thing with vampires, like you lose your soul when you turn into a vampire, but he doesn't. He just refuses to believe that. And so, and he teaches like the very few vampires who kind of follow him. You know, you do still have a soul. You just can't go around killing people. It's like it's not right, even though you want to so much. Like, and it's perfectly normal for you to do it. I mean, that's what you are as a new creature, as an animal. You go around and you kill humans, but don't do it because it's wrong. So you're constantly fighting against that, which is I don't think that's really been done well. I mean, it's to such a degree. I guess it was kind of done in Buffy.
What about this crazy fan base? You mentioned one silly nickname and you're stuck with it forever. And you mentioned the lullaby, and now everybody's freaking out if we're going to be composing the lullaby. And this crazy fan base, like going into the coffee store early on.
Yeah.
How has that been dealing with?
I mean, the weird thing about it, for some reason, I guess it's because kids, like, well, not kids even, people who read books and get really obsessive with books, I think they're just, by definition, like, much more kind of logical and normal, like, than people who just kind of like, obsess over like a TV person or something like that. Well, I shouldn't say that. Well, anyway.
You won't see them here, don't worry.
No, but I mean, the people who get the book thing, I mean, everyone's really nice. Like, they come up to you and they're like, you know how you kind of see some fans, like when you're watching like things on MTV when like people just freak out. Yeah, like,
no, they're
wet
really
their pants and stuff.
Yeah, no, they are nice. Yeah. They're respectful. They're grateful. I think a lot of them that their world is being brought to life. I think they're really like, there's that really nice appreciation thing where they're like amazing. I get to see it on screen, and you know, so
they feel really attached. They're like attached to it. Being like a Twilight fan now, I think, is like a thing which people sort of like claim it. They're saying, I'm a Twilight fan, I'm part of the club. Like, I mean,
they have their own like nomenclature. And
yeah.
Totally.
Strange.
All right, thank you guys so much. Bye-bye. And good luck downstairs.
Yeah.